The World Health Organization defines maternal death as the death of a woman while pregnant or within 42 days of termination of the pregnancy from any cause related to or aggravated by the pregnancy. The United States has the highest rates of maternal deaths than any other industrialized country, with an average of about 33 deaths per 100,000 live births. When taking a more in-depth look, those rates are greatly increased amongst women of color, with Black women having the highest rates of maternal deaths than any other race groups. According to the CDC, in 2020, the maternal mortality rate for non-Hispanic Black women was 55.3 deaths per 100,000 live births. By 2021, that rate increased to about 70 deaths per 100,000 live births, which is almost 3 times as much as their white counterparts. These maternal mortality rates also fluctuate depending on the part of the country. For example, in the Bronx, Black women are nearly 9 times as likely to suffer from maternal deaths than white women. Why is that? Well, there's various reasons deep-rooted in the structural racism of this country and flawed healthcare system. There are many complex reasons for why the maternal mortality rates are so high amongst Black women. Some reasons for the racial disparities include risk factors such as diabetes, hypertension, and obesity, which make pregnancy more riskier and are conditions more common in Black and Hispanic women than white women. Although these are valid reasons, these factors are also commonly used to undermine implicit racism in the healthcare field that has a more substantial impact on Black maternal deaths. Structural racism is the main factor that contributes to Black mothers' deaths. Racism such as unconscious bias, verbal abuse, and even being denied medicine and treatment are the most prevalent reasons for the racial disparity in maternal mortality rates. Unconscious bias is defined as a collection of attitudes and stereotypes that affect healthcare providers' actions and behaviors towards certain demographics of people. An example of this is that many medical curriculums include erroneous claims that Black women's nerve endings are less sensitive and that Black women's blood coagulates faster than that of white women's, leading to delayed treatment of dangerous hemorrhages. Due to the inaccurate information taught in medical curriculum, this leads to stereotypes being formed about Black women, leading to unconscious bias being used to dismiss the complaints of Black mothers and patients in general. Other racist systemic factors include lack of transportation in areas where women of color live, lack of follow-up checkups due to understaffing, which is more common in Black neighborhoods, food instability, and more.
Another possible explanation for this racial disparity is the weathering theory. The weathering theory states that the health of African American women may begin to deteriorate with age as a physical consequence of cumulative socioeconomic disadvantage. Many Black mothers suffer from the lack of support and racism in the health field. Structural racism is killing Black mothers and ruining families. This is a very problematic issue, especially when considering 80% of all maternal deaths are preventable.
Some solutions to combat this racial disparity include doula groups, which are groups of other mothers that provide emotional support to pregnant women, implicit bias training implemented in medical curriculum, and culturally concordant care, meaning care from someone or a similar background.
Finding more solutions to this problem might be difficult because the racial disparity is a broader problem that involves fixing the structural racism deeply rooted in American society. It will take time to dismantle systemic racism that affects Black women and minorities in general in numerous ways.